The Mystic of 6 Prostitutes, Part 1. In the heart of bustling African city of Luanda, there stood an enigmatic building known as the Velvet Crescent. This establishment, hiding away in the labyrinthine alleys of the city's oldest quarters, was a brothel of considerable renown. It was managed by Madam Karima, a woman of mysterious origins and even more mysterious powers. Within the crescent, 6 prostitutes lived and worked. Each had her own story of hardship and survival. But they had found a resemblance of family within the walls of its establishments. There was Amina, the fiery beauty with a past full of broken dreams. Laila, the melancholic artist with eyes that held stories of pain. Sefu, the playful seductress with a quick wit. Mariam, the stoic protector who shielded her friends from harm. Bintu, the mystic who often whispered of omen and portents. And Sarah, the youngest and most naive of the group, who still had a sliver of hope for a better future. One fateful night, an enigmatic client arrived at the Velvet Crescent. He was unlike any other they had seen. A tall man with an aura of ancient knowledge and a presence that commanded attention. His eyes glowed with a faint, airy light as he approached Madam Karima. He introduced himself simply as the seeker and requested the company of all 6 women for the evening. Madam Karima, seeing something amiss, but unable to resist the substantial payment offered, agreed the 6 women were summoned to the seeker private room, each curious and apprehensive about the night's events. As the night deepened, the seeker began to tell tales of forgotten land and ancient curses. His voice had a hypnotic quality, drawing the women into a trance-like state. Amina, always the most adventurous, was the first to speak up, her curiosity piqued by his story. She asked him about the causes, her eyes glinting with interest. The seeker smiled enigmatically and began to weave a tale about a cursed artifact, a necklace that brought misfortune to those who wore it. As he spoke, he reached into his cloak and produced the necklace, offering it to Amina as a gift. The moment she noticed it, a cold shiver ran down her spine, but she brushed off the sensation, attributing it to chilling stares he had spun. That night, Amina wore the necklace to bed. In the early hour of the morning, her scream echoed through the Velvet Crescent. The other women rushed to her room, only to find her lifeless body, her eyes wide open in terror. The necklace lay cold against her skin, its cause fulfilled. The shock of Amina's death cast a spell over the Velvet Crescent. The women mourned her friend, but life went on, and the burden continued to operate. However, the mysterious circumstances surrounding Amina's death left everyone on edge. Laila, always the sensitive soul, was particularly affected. She began to withdraw into herself, spending long hours in her room, painting scenes of darkness and despair. One evening, the seeker returned, his presence a reminder of the nightmarish events that had unfolded. He requested Laila's company alone, and despite her misgivings, she complied, unable to refuse the man he had already brought so much grief. In the privacy of his room, the seeker spoke to Laila about her art, praising her talent and encouraging her to explore deeper, darker themes. He presented her with a set of rare exotic paints, claiming they were imbued with magical properties that could enhance her work. Being wary and guided, Laila accepted the gift. As she used the paint over the next few days, Laila's artwork became increasingly macabre. She painted haunting, disturbing scenes that seemed to come to life on the canvas. One night, as she finished a particularly unsettling piece, she felt a sudden intense pain in her chest. Her scream brought the other rushing to her room, only to find her lifeless body slumped on top of a frame used to hold her heart's work. Her final painting depicting her own death in frightening details. The death of Amina and Laila cast a shadow over the Velvet Crescent, but the women were resilient, bound together by their shared grief and determination to survive. Seifu, the playful mistress, tried to lift everyone's spirits with her jokes and laughter. She refused to let the darkness consume her, even as the fear lingered in the back of her mind. One night, the seeker returned once more, his visit becoming an ominous routine. This time, he asked for Seifu's company. She went willingly, masking her apprehension with her usual charm and wit. The seeker, amused by her light-hearted behavior, offered her a set of dice, claiming they had been used by ancient fortune teller to predict the future. Seifu, who knew nothing about gambling, took the dice with a smile and began to play with them. As she rolled the dice, the seeker told her of the fortune they foretold. At first, the prediction was innocuous, even amusing, but as the night wore on, the dice began to reveal darker, more sinister fates. Ignoring the growing unease, Seifu continued to roll the dice until the final roll predicted her own death. The room grew cold, and a frightening silence consumed them. Laughing nervously, Seifu dismissed the prediction as nonsense, but that night she died in her sleep, a look of shock and terror engraved on her face. With 3 of their number dead, the remaining women of the Velvet Crescent were gripped with fear and insanity. Miriam, the stoic protector, took it upon herself to safeguard the friends. She kept watch at night. Her eyes were leaving the shadow where danger might lurk. When the seeker returned yet again, Miriam confronted him, demanding to know the truth behind the death of her friends. The seeker, unfazed, offered her a proposition. He presented her with a vial of liquid, claiming it was a powerful elixir that could protect her and her friends from any harm. But there was a catch. Only the dose existed, and it would require a great sacrifice to activate its power. Despite to save those who remained, Miriam took the vial and drank it, knowing the sacrifice it demanded. As the liquid coursed through her vein, she felt her strength ebby away. She collapsed, her body racked with pain. The other woman rushed to her side, but it was too late. Miriam had sacrificed her life, hoping her death would break the curse. With Miriam's death, only two women remained, Bintu, the mystic, and Sarah, the youngest. Bintu had always been attuned to the supernatural. Her whisper of omens and portents, often dismissed by the others. Now, she was the only one who understood the true nature of the threat they faced. Bintu spent hours in meditation, seeking guidance from the spirit. She knew the seeker's visits were no coincidence, and that the cause needed to be unraveled. One night, during a particularly intense session, she received a vision. The spirit showed her a series of symbols and images, revealing the source of the cause and the way to break it. Determined to end the circle of death, Bintu confronted the seeker during his next visit. She demanded he reveal the truth, invoking the power of the spirit to compel him. The seeker, amused but intrigued, agreed to her request. He explained that the cause was tied to the velvet itself, a place built on ancient cursed ground. Bintu, armed with this knowledge, attempted to cleanse the burden of its dark energies. She performed a ritual using the symbol and incantation revealed in her dream. But as she chanted, a dark force surged through the room. The ritual backfired, and Bintu was consumed by the spirits she had sought to control. Sarah, the youngest and most innocent of the group, was now the only one left. The death of her friends had shattered her world, leaving her alone and terrified. Yet, amidst her grief and fear, a newfound determination emerged. Sarah vowed to uncover the truth behind the seeker and the cause that had claimed her friends. She spent hours poring over the old book and scroll Bintu had left behind, searching for clues. Sarah discovered reference to an ancient curse tied to the land on which the velvet crescent stood. The curse, it seemed, was linked to a ritual gone wrong century ago. A ritual that had summoned dark forces and trapped them in the very soil. One night, the seeker appeared once more. This time, Sarah was ready. She confronted him with the knowledge she had gained, demanded to know why he had orchestrated the death of her friends. The seeker, impressed by her courage, revealed his true identity. He was not merely a man, but a spirit bound to the cause, seeking to free himself by feeding on the soul of the innocents. The revelation of Seeker's true nature filled Sarah with both fear and resolve. She realized that to end the cause, she would need to confront the dark forces head on. Armed with knowledge and the artifact left behind by her friends, Sarah prepared for the ultimate confrontation. She gathered the cursed necklace, the enchanted paints, the dice, the vial, using the objects as tools in her final stand against the seeker. Each item represented the lost lives of her friends and carried a fragment of their essence. Sarah, though inexperienced, drew strength from their memories and their sacrifices. This is the end of part 1 of the mystical death of 6th prostitute of Velvet Crescent. But the mystery continues, waiting for people or someone to unravel. Sarah, the naive, but the last lady standing. Was she able to break the curse? Or the dead friends, what happened to them? Or will she even survive? Watch out for the next part where all these questions will be answered. But before we go, please do not forget to subscribe, follow us, like the page, share the video for others to see, and drop your comments. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.